Piston Fanatic. I'm your host, Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been the varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe. What a game, Piston fans. What a roller coaster ride. We pulled out a 125 to 124 overtime victory over the Miami Heat. We were up by a lot in the first half, and we let them catch it back up by halftime. We were up by 19 in the second half. We were up by 16 in the fourth quarter with like about 9 minutes left, and we let it get away. And Miami tied it up, obviously, at the end, and we got down by 8 points in overtime. They scored the first 8 points of overtime, and we somehow pulled it out. And I will say this as a coach, you know this as a coach. If you win a game like this, you're the greatest coach in the world. You're great. Everybody feels great. Everybody's excited and everybody's happy. If you lose, especially when you had that 19-point lead, you're the worst coach in the world. You're the worst team in the world. I saw people on Twitter. I think Piston Jack wrote worst loss of the year when it looked like we were going to lose in overtime. And you know that's the way it is. We did make a lot of mistakes, and there is certainly a lot of negatives, but so many positives, so many great performances. I mean, Cade had another triple-double, 20 points. He broke his record again for assists, 18 assists. Of course, it really makes it nice when you just have to throw the ball to Malik Beasley behind the three-point line and you get an assist automatically. So that's pretty cool. But still, 18 assists is remarkable. It's only 4 turnovers. Some of those were a little bit lackadaisical, but still, he did not play well down the stretch. I mean, I'm going to be honest. He tried to force some things. They doubled him so hard and played him physical, and he didn't get rid of the ball sometimes. And then he missed. He shot really well. He ended up not shooting that great for the game, but he shot really well. But then at his last, 5 or 6 shots, he only made like one of his last 6 shots, I think, in the game probably. But he was great, and he's a all-star. But we obviously Beasley, 28 points. He had 7 threes. He was 7 for 13 on threes. He missed some at the end, but he is so amazing that he can just catch it and put it. The ball touches his hands, and it's up to the basket and going in for a 3. Then a couple times he caught the ball, did a quick little pass fake, and then shot the 3. That's not easy to do. But he can do things like that. And then Ausar did that on the 1 3 that he made. He did a little fake pass, but Ausar's another thing we're going to really get talking about later. But Miami was hot coming in. They would won 4 in a row. They had been averaging 122 a game, and tonight Jimmy Butler was incredible, and we pulled it out somehow. And Tyler Hero was cold. He could not make a shot. And then at the end, what does he do? He plays hero ball, and he makes him, except he missed the last one at the end of the overtime. That he had a shot to win it, and he missed it. And Duran switched out on him, and he ended up missing it. But yeah, we had a long stretch that we went 9 minutes where we didn't score from the end. One point at the end of the fourth quarter to the few minutes into or a couple minutes at least into the overtime before we even made a bucket. We had a long stretch there, and we made some turnovers and stuff. But it was, like I said, a great win. We were playing without Ivy. We were playing without Tobias Harris. Ivy's knee was hurt. He was a late scratch, and Harris had some injury from the game before, towards the end of the game. And then really killed us. Stu hyperextended his knee with 7:20 into the game. He only played 7 minutes and 20 seconds in the game, and he's a valuable asset for our team. But so another big thing that's been happening right now, I guess I'll get into it right now, that we cut Paul Reed. And I was all bummed because if you listen to this podcast, I was excited that we got Paul Reed. I thought maybe he'd play a bigger role. It doesn't seem like, it seems like obviously that JB prioritizes Stu and Duran ahead of him. And so he hasn't got to play much. But when we cut him, I thought, oh no, you have to have 3 centers. If I follow this in the NBA all the time, centers seem to get hurt more than anybody. Centers seem to get in foul trouble more than anybody. Duran had 5 tonight. And so you need 3 centers. And so all of a sudden, I think, well, man, we're tanking, man, because there's not centers available. I mean, it used to be even a couple years ago, you could pick up a center pretty easily off waivers or out of the G League that was pretty effective, but they're not floating around like they used to be, and so it's going to be tough playing without Stu and just having Paul Reed and Duran. And but anyway, it was a brilliant move by the Pistons and Trajan and whoever. He's got this good staff that really knows stuff about the cap and how to work things. And so we cut um, we cut Paul Reed, and then we signed him for the veteran minimum. So we signed him for a lot less. So I don't know how all that worked. I don't know if we ever tried to trade him or if anybody ever had a chance to pick him up or why he signed for less money for the rest of the year with us. I'd be fascinated to know what happened there. But all I know is that he is um, really good and that we really need him. And now we have the bottom line is I could go through everything. We signed Javante McCoy to a small contract, but the bottom line is we did all this stuff and made all these moves so that we now have $14 million in cap space instead of $10.5 million in cap space, which is going to be really valuable at the trade deadline if we want to take on somebody else's money. It allows you to make trades that nobody else can because not many people have any cap space. So, yeah, Ausar. So let's talk about him. If you listen to this, you know how much I love Ausar, and it's been so disappointing. He's played and he's got hurt, and he played a little bit, and then he didn't play games, or he's played very, very limited minutes, and um, he ended up playing spectacularly tonight. He did shoot. He was 8 for 14, which is incredible, but he missed like at least 3 shots I'm really confident he would make once he gets playing more and gets used to it. But he just makes things happen on the court. And he did this dunk where he took off from the dotted line and kind of off over to the side even, and he just glides. He flies through the air, well, like nobody else except for Amen, his brother, and he does the 2-hand dunks. He jumps off 2 feet, but he just makes plays, and he deflects balls, and he blocks shots, and he gets out rebounds, and he just, he's going to be a good passer. I can't wait. I'm so thrilled that he played 27 minutes. I just can't wait till he's healthy enough to play consistently 27 minutes. Part of the reason he played 27 minutes is because it was overtime. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got there, but he was incredible tonight. And one thing I could say, Holland had the good game the other day. The last game, he had that 20 points in the fourth quarter and 26 points for the game. But, when we drafted guys, one thing, the most valuable commodity in the NBA is our athletic wings that can defend and play 2 ways. Of course, these guys haven't proven that they can shoot yet. They're showing some flashes that they might be able to shoot the 3 a little bit better. But that's what if they pan out, it's incredible because everybody says, well, we need to trade for a guy that's a 2-way wing and that can make things happen and stuff. But everybody wants those, and so there's just not enough available, and you'd have to pay a premium. The New Orleans Pelicans, they have a whole bunch of players on their team, and the 2 players that aren't for trade are Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. And what are they? Athletic wings. And I hear all these speculation. Oh, this team, we want this guy, and we want this guy. We want Herb Jones. Everybody wants Herb Jones. And they don't even consider getting Trey Murphy because they know that they don't even wouldn't ever consider that. But they're not even going to consider trading Herb Jones. But anyway, we had 22 turnovers, which is killer, and that does really, really hurt us. And I will say, Beasley had all those threes. He made 7 threes tonight. Well, I keep bragging about my granddaughter. She broke the school record for threes in a career, 2 games into her career. But Friday night, she was 8 for 11 on threes and tied the school record for most threes in a single game. And she made 7 threes in a row in the game. And to start the season, she's 21 of 37. So it's like 58% she's shooting on threes. And her team's 4-0, so they're off to a good start. But anyway, Hardaway was the hero. Hardaway wasn't having that great of a game, and then overtime he hits 3 threes. And the last 3 got to put us ahead. He was flying forward. He took off from behind the 3-point line, but he was flying through the air. It was incredible, and he just really played it out. He almost was the GOAT, though. I mean, at the end of the game, we had the lead in the ball, and we just had to get it in. He couldn't get it in the first time. We called timeout, our last timeout. Then our two veterans, him and Beasley, Hardaway throwing to Beasley, they threw the ball down. Beasley stopped. The ball went way down to the other team's end of the court, and they raced down and picked up the ball, and it almost could have cost us the game. But anyway, Hardaway did make those big shots. Hardaway played 36 minutes, 5 for 11, 5 for 10 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And like I said, Ausar just was spectacular tonight with his 19 points and a block and 4 steals and 9 rebounds and 8 for 14. And it was so much fun. I said this over and over again, that I love how much I love watching him play. I said so much that I even watch the Rockets play just so I can watch a men play, because they play so much similar. But Beasley played 41 minutes, so he had to start all of a sudden at just before the game. He had no idea who he was starting, and then they determined that Ivy's knee was hurt too bad to play, so he really stepped up. He had also 3 rebounds and 4 assists along with that 28 points. Cade logged 42 minutes. That was a lot of minutes, but he ended up having that triple-double, and 18 assists is incredible. So Fontecchio got to play 24 minutes, which is kind of what I wish he could play all the time. He doesn't usually get to play that much. He played okay, 2 for 6, 1 for 3, 4 for 4 on free throws, but he had 3 turnovers, which wasn't good. Holland had a good solid game, 23 minutes, 3 for 5, 1 for 1 on threes, and 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 8 points. And Sasser, he played 21 minutes. We needed him, and he hit 2 big threes. Of course, threes are always big whenever you make them, but he was 2 for 3 on threes and had 6 points. B-Ball Paul came in and he played only 12 minutes still, but he had 2 for 4. I don't understand why we still don't want to play him more, but 2 for 2 on free throws, 2 rebounds. We shot 49%, but here's the thing. We shot 20 out of 40 on threes. And so, of course, like I said, Beasley and Hardaway and Cade was 3 for 6 on threes. So we were hot on threes, and we were so terrible that last game where we got blown out by the Celtics. We shot like less than 20% on threes. So that's funny, because we'd had 2 really good. This is like the 3rd time in 4 games where we made 23s and 21 in one of the games. But yeah, so the Heat only shot 45%, and they were only 28% on threes, and they're a 3-point shooting team. That's what they usually do with Hero and Duncan Robinson and those guys. But they didn't shoot well tonight. But they were 22 of 24 on free throws, and Jimmy Butler gets to the line. He lives there, so that's partway why they outscored us by 5 from the line, and they had 13 turnovers to our 22, so that made a big difference because we out-rebounded them 61 to 47. So yeah, Butler had 35 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, and Hero was 4 for 17 on threes, but he made like 3 at the end that were huge. But Butler, at the end of the game, his shoe fell off, and the game went on. The possession went on for more than 10 seconds. He ended up getting an offensive rebound and scoring a bucket that put them ahead, I think. And then Cade came down with 37 seconds left and put us ahead. So anyway, like I said, it was a remarkable game, full of ups and downs, but it was fun that we won. And I know, like I said, I know Piston fans, how they react. I mean, if we had lost that game, people were going to be so negative and stuff. But it is hard, and it's not good to get that far behind. And that last shot, Hero made an incredibly tough shot to tie the game. He had guys right all over him, and he fell down afterwards. And yeah, it was still a great win for the team, and really excited that for the guys, because it just is a great feeling. Like I said, you really don't play your game isn't that much different if you win by 1 point in overtime or you lose by 1 point in overtime. You really played about the same game. The feeling of winning or losing is is like monumentally different. So I'm happy for the Pistons and Piston fans that we pulled it out. But thank you for listening, and if you can find something to do for somebody, you might be the only person that can help them out. So please do it if you can. So thank you for listening, and go Pistons.